Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 24 of our Lariat League Wrestling Local to Global series, hot off the heels of our LLW Riot show when, there kind of was a riot by the end of it. Claudio Castagnoli debuting and teaming up with Drew Galloway, attacking and ruining our World Championship match, our King of the Lariat League match. Just being dicks, really. But that did set up the main event, the impromptu main event tag team match in which Drew Galloway and Claudio did end up on top. So, we did also get new tag team champions out of that, though, which was amazing. RKJ and Colby Carino are killing it as of late. I'm very, very happy for them. Are Gunpowder going to get a rematch? Do they want a rematch? We'll have to wait and see. But we are here for our first show in August. It's summertime. The kids are off school. Yeah. And in the pre-show, because Nixon Newell said that she is leaving, we are having her lose every match. And the same was meant to be for Chris Dijak, but I don't know what happened. He still ended up winning at Riot, so we're gonna have to get that title off him soon, but we just have to decide who the right man is, because I don't think it makes sense for Maloney to get that title now. So yeah, over the next coming weeks before Dijak leaves, he will drop that title, but to who, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we start off here with Nixon Newell versus Becca. Annoyingly, Nixon's putting in probably her best performances now, a 61. That's really, really good from her. And but she is losing though. Becca, B3CCA, the pop star Becca, gets the win with the Mutalok. Oh, go on, Becca. Becca getting a 35, which isn't very good, but she'll get the rub from this win. A 55 rated segment overall. That's pretty good. That's something that could potentially go on the main show and not impact it too much. Because remember, we're at 50-51 popularity now. We need to get to 59 to be medium, which means all of our shows need to be 60 plus going forward. We're getting there. We're starting to bring in better talent. I think I do need to do a slight overhaul of the roster, because there's a few people down low that just aren't cutting it anymore, or they can just be living on the pre-show until they get better. But yeah, Nixon Newell loses. It's going to happen every show, so get used to it. As promised, we did that comedy bout between Marty Martinez and Grado, so let's see how that goes when it's not a comedy bout. That is what opens this show. 59. Okay, it's still not that good. Just to double check, Marty's ring rust is gone, right? Yeah. I mean, he was penalised for his poor gimmick, but it wouldn't be that much. Everything else is a bonus. So yeah, Marty's not that great. And for the money I'm giving him, I think he's on like $800-900 a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's £800-900 more than I need to be spending. So I think Marty is probably going to go in our overhaul. I might make that its own episode. So maybe after this one, we'll do a mini overhaul, chasing for medium. Let's look for great people to bring in. But yeah, Marty gets the win here, defeats Grado in 15 minutes with a sharpshooter. Another thing, neither of these men can go longer than 15 minutes, so that's not the Lariat League way. Following this, though, even though Grado lost, he continues to mock Marty post-match, in which Marty kicks his head in again. So yeah, I was going to start a little feud between these two, but now let's consider this dead in the water. Grado gets his ass beaten. Maybe that can be the thing. Grado just getting his ass beaten. But Marty Martinez, yeah, coming out on top. But I think you're going to go, mate. I'm really sorry. 51 overall, not bad. We do need to get some better results. Thinking forward of wanting to increase our popularity. Oh, not now, please. That was random. Please don't restart whilst I'm recording. But let's continue with the show before, the laptop breaks down. Let's keep going. We have got some singles action. Aisha Ray, off the back of her loss to Heidi Katrina, she gets the win against Rain Leverkusen. Rain Leverkusen, someone we haven't used in a while. And again, getting a 32, not the best, but Aisha Ray killing it with a 65. Go on, Aisha. That is what we want to see. 56 rating overall. Again, we need to be a little bit better, guys. But to be fair, for the women's division, 55-56, floating around there is better than what we've had recently. We have had the odd 40-30 rated matches, and we don't want that at all. But Aisha Ray, yeah, bouncing back with a very dominant win in 11 minutes, just completely destroying Rain Leverkusen. Aisha's not finished with this title race, and I don't blame her because she is probably one of our best on the roster. Following this, though, Drew Galloway and Claudio Castagnoli come on out and they cut a little promo about Ashton Smith, just saying, you're not a big guy, you're not a top guy, let's be honest. There are top guys in this division, like me, Claudio, a few more. We should be the kings of the ring, or kings of the Lariat League. Get it right, boys. Not you, Ashton. So we're coming for you. And Drew Galloway specifically says, I am taking that title from you, Ashton. It may not be tonight, it may not be next week, but that belt will be coming home with me sooner rather than later. So, you know, echoing what he said a while ago, Drew's hit his form now, although apparently not when it comes to cutting a promo. And they are in tag action next. It is Drew Galloway and Claudio Castagnoli taking on the KO squad. And 70, that's what we want. That is what we want. And about that had superb wrestling and good heat. Drew Galloway and Claudio Castagnoli defeat the KO squad in 20 minutes when Drew pins Anthony Ogogo with the Claymore kick. Claudio with a 66, not that great. Hopefully he'll get better. Drew with a 75, Levi with a 52, and Anthony Ogogo with a 58. It's got the crowd buzzing. And yeah, Drew Galloway looking awesome in this, and a 70 rating, which is even better. So yeah, post-match, Drew just again signals that kind of belt round the waist gesture, saying that he has his eyes laser focused on taking Ashton Smith out and taking his title. After this, though, we've got a little bit of hype. This would have been a surprise if I didn't accidentally spoil it last episode, but PAC is here. Debuted his bastard gimmick. It's come across as adequate. That's annoying. Small boost of star quality, which is good. It gives a bonus when booked to look dominant. Okay, we will keep that in mind. Yeah, PAC is here, and PAC is debuting next. The main event is PAC taking on arguably one of our best in-ring performers. It's not Timothy Thatcher, don't worry. It's our resident-owned Black Swan, Cara Noir. So this should be, I hope, a very good match. I have actually seen PAC and Cara face each other one-on-one in real life, and it was a great match. So let's see if we can replicate that. An 80, yes, I will take that. Oh, PAC got an 82. We've got a star on our hands. Let's hope, keep everything crossed, that Impact do not try and take him before we go medium. I shouldn't have put it out there. They're going to do it, aren't they, the fuckers? But in about that had superb wrestling, my favourite word, and great heat. PAC defeats Cara Noir in 28 minutes with the Black Arrow. PAC with an 82, Cara with a 71. Cara definitely underutilised, but we will look to use him a little bit more in the future. Yeah, great match. 80, what a match to end on. I'm sure that 80 and the 71 has definitely lifted our score above what we need. I mean, to be fair, all of our promos and stuff have been above our 50-51 popularity, but you always want it to be significantly more, like a good couple of points, good like 5-10 points more at least, to help with the pop growth. But let's have a look and see how we did. 73, wow, awesome. If we can keep up that, then we're golden. I think the plan is make sure we've got a fucking baller main event, and the rest of it can just be bang average. I think that's our plan from now on. But yeah, that is the first show done. PAC has debuted. Drew and Claudio have formed a team, with Drew targeting Ashton Smith. Aisha Ray, bouncing straight back from that loss. And this is the last time you will see Marty Martinez. But let's stop here and let's head straight into show 2 of August. I'll see you guys there. Okay, and here we are for the next show in this episode, the final show in this episode, and we can see the attendance now. So we've got 1,250 people in the Clapham Grand, and I believe we're still on cheap tickets. So yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know. And we've got 2 pre-show matches before we head into the main show tonight. There is a title match on tonight's show, and we've got a hopefully very good main event between Timothy Thatcher and RKJ, Ricky Knight Jr. Obviously, Ricky Knight and his tag team partner Colby Corino recently defeating Gunpowder, which is Timothy Thatcher and Bobby Gunn. So this is kind of a revenge match for Timothy, seeing what he can do, because he is our wrestling machine in the company. But before we get there, we have got our 2 pre-show matches, and the first one here is Michael Oku taking on DeReese. And in about that had good heat, and decent wrestling. Michael Oku gets the win with the half crab. DeReese was visibly tiring towards the end. That is not good to see. Can't do 15 minutes, mate. Come on. 56 overall. That's fair enough. You know, Oku with a 55, DeReese with a 45. Sure. Our second tag team match is, or our second pre-show match is a tag team match, and it's Aisha Ray and Gia Brookside teaming up, taking on Zoe Lucas and Kanji. And in a decent pre-show match, Aisha Ray and Gia Brookside get the win. Aisha pins Zoe Lucas with a suicide diver. 55 overall again, not too bad. Gia is getting better, which is great to see. I think I'm going to have her beat Nixon in the next 2 shows, just because Gia Brookside started off really poor. She's now kind of committed to us randomly, and she's meant to be a next big thing. So yeah, we'll follow that and see what happens. And yeah, Kanji with a 47, Lucas with a 47 as well. Really good. Well done, Kanji. And Zoe Lucas is great. We've seen what she can do already. But of course, Aisha Ray, the star, of course she is. But this does take us into the main show, and we start with some tag team action. Ashton Smith is not teaming up with Tanahashi this time. He is teaming up with his actual partner, Charlie Sterling. So Smith and Sterling are taking on Big T, Little T. Oh, cool. And in about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. It is, of course, our king of the Lariat League, Smith, and his partner, Sterling, defeating Big T, Little T in just over 20 minutes when Ashton Smith pins Tate Mayfair's with a GTS. Ashton Smith head and shoulders above everyone else, which is great to see. Charlie Sterling did really well with a 62. Ashton with a 72. Love that. I do think that Ashton is definitely a tag team guy. We kind of lucked out at the beginning with him putting in some really good performances, and we've definitely made him a great single star. But, you know, he's definitely a tag team guy, let's be honest. So we've got the Smith and Sterling, you know, we can always pull that trigger whenever we need to, providing Sterling gets a bit better, or we just find Smith a better tag team partner. Because I think his actual tag team partner when he was in NXT UK, is still in NXT. So, yeah, I've got my eye on a bunch of WWE, AEW, New Japan, NXT talent. A mad long shortlist, but obviously we have to wait for them to expire before we can try and sign them. And if any of those companies put in a bid for them, there's no point even trying because they'll just take them. But yeah, Smith with a 72 here, Tate with a 57, and Big T with a 48. Getting the show off to a strong start with a 67. That is perfect. That is exactly what we want to see. Following this, though, William Regal has an announcement. He announces that next week in our next episode or our next show, Tanahashi and Ashton Smith will have their rematch because obviously it was interrupted by Claudio Castagnoli and Drew Galloway. And he confirms as well that both Drew Galloway and Claudio Castagnoli are banned from ringside, meaning they cannot and will not appear during the match. So we will have a definitive finish here between Ashton Smith and Tanahashi. So that is something to look forward to next week. There's more things to look forward to, but we'll have to wait and see because they might be announced in this show. After this, though, we have got Heidi Katrina, our queen of the Lariat League, and she is looking to prove herself even more. So she calls out Nixon Newell and says, Nixon, let's see how great you really are, seeing as though you're leaving us for what you think is something better. Let's see if you can defeat the queen and end your on a high. So Heidi calling out Nixon Newell. Nixon, of course, you know, why not? Maybe she can do a Dijak and take the title and hold on to it until she leaves. So our next match is Heidi Katrina putting her Queen of the Lariat League title on the line against Nixon Newell. 57, I will take it. In about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. It is Heidi Katrina, of course it is, that gets the win and defeats Nixon Newell in 19 minutes with the spear. That deadly best spear in the game. That's what I'm saying. Heidi makes defense number 5 of her Queen of the Lariat League title, and this will do only good for Heidi as well. 50 performance from her, 56 from Nixon. Heidi and Nixon have pretty good chemistry, which is annoying, you know. We could have utilised that, but hey-ho, Nixon is pissing off, so yeah, she can piss off. But yeah, 57, that's good. That's above the threshold number that we need. And post-match, Heidi's not done, you know. She's celebrating like a madman, just being like, yeah, see you later, go to Impact, you're better off there. When Rina Yamashita makes her return from her injury. She's still technically not cleared to wrestle, but she has appeared and said, next week I will be cleared to wrestle. And next week, Heidi, I am taking that title from you. And of course, Heidi is like, oh shit, you know, Aisha Ray was a problem, but Rina Yamashita is a problem. And apparently Rina can speak fluent English, which is awesome, and she's really good on the mic, you know, for this level. So yeah, 59 segment here. Rina Yamashita, Heidi Katrina. The challenge has been set and will be happening next week. I will need to book that because looking at my notes, it's not there. But yeah, let's follow this with our next segment, which is an announcement. Chris Dijak is here. He's getting boos aplenty. You know, he wasn't meant to win at Riot, but he still did. And he's leaving. He's already said, I'm done with LLW. This place is not big enough for me. I'm heading over back. I'm going back to America, you know, where the sun actually shines and it's not cloudy and rainy all the time. And I'm taking this title with me. But I'm not just going to take it. I'm going to earn the right to take it. So next week, well, not next week, in 2 weeks' time, at my final night at LLW, I will hold a gauntlet challenging anyone and everyone to try and take this title from me. So that is pretty much going to take up, I think, most of our week 4 show. It will be Dijak taking on whoever wishes to challenge him. I mean, it could be a short one, to be honest, so let's book some other matches just in case. But yeah, anyone and everyone is open to challenge Dijak. This does not need to be authorized by William Regal or Dijak himself. Dijak will simply enter the ring, and one by one, people will challenge him, should he obviously win. As soon as he loses, the gauntlet's over. But yeah, 65 from here. Yep, really good work on the microphone for Chris Dijak, which is annoying. I really like Dijak, and I really like Nixon Newell. Like, why couldn't they have taken Derice and Big T? Take them, come on. But yeah, that is that, and that will be happening in our next episode that has matches. I think in the next one I might do actually no, let's get to the end of the month and then we'll do our cleanse, because then that can be a big build up to our September show. So yeah, next episode we will have week 3 and week 4, so you'll see that gauntlet plus Yamashita and Heidi Katrina plus Tanahashi taking on Ashton Smith. So yeah, we've got some big matches in the next episode. But that is it in terms of announcements. Our main event is here. Timothy Thatcher taking on RKJ Ricky Knight Jr., one half of our Knights of the Lariat League. It's quite fitting that Ricky Knight is one of our Knights. Haven't really made that connection until now. Interesting. But let's go ahead and see what goes down. Oh, 77. Oh, mwah, mwah. That's what we want. In a bout that had superb wrestling, my favourite word, and great heat. Look at that, 88. Timothy Thatcher defeats Ricky Knight Jr. in 24 minutes with the Thatcher stretch. Timothy Thatcher with an 88, my goodness. Ricky Knight with a 74 as well, my goodness. And to top it all off, they've got great chemistry. Amazing. Love that. Really, really love that. Whenever I see that great chemistry, just in my head, the cogs start turning. And I'm like, oh my God, we can do this, we could do this. We can loop back round to this when they're bigger. So yeah, this is awesome. So let's just finish the show and see how well we do. A 71. Baller. If we can keep this high 60s, early 70s, I mean, for like the next 2 years, we'll be golden. We'll be hitting big. Oh, no, actually not, because I think to hit big, you need to be 77. So yeah, we're going to need to improve slightly, but medium will be a breeze if we continue with this. Yeah, great show. I think on average, this was probably a better show than last week's, or the one earlier in this episode. But yeah, we've got some big announcements for the next episode. Just to quickly run through them again, we will have Hiroshi Tanahashi getting his rematch. This time it won't be ruined by anyone, against Ashton Smith for the King of the Lariat League title. We will also have Rina Yamashita returning from injury and getting a title shot against Heidi Katrina, which I think will probably be Heidi's toughest test yet. I mean, Aisha Ray's a very tough test, but Rina seems to be a whole different beast. And then, of course, Chris Dijak has set a challenge to everyone in the locker room that he will hold a gauntlet and will not leave the ring until he loses / the show ends. So, yeah, that's going to be exciting. Who do you think is going to challenge him? I'm looking to bring in a few names before then. Hopefully they sign. If not, we'll find someone. But I'm going to use this time between now and the next episode to figure out who the best replacement for Chris Dijak will be. But that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Feels quite short in my eyes, but it might not be. I mean, I like to ramble a lot, and you know that. But yeah, that's it for this one. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know who you think is going to challenge Dijak in the gauntlet. List as many names as possible. And we'll see if you're right. So yeah, until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Yeah.